Are you looking for a tool that's going to cut down a lot of time, hassle, and heartache in your self-publishing business? Have you considered getting Publisher Rocket, but you're still kind of on the fence and not really sure if it's going to be right for you? Well, today I'm going to be giving a full-on Publisher Rocket review in 2020. Is it really worth it? Well, find out my thoughts in today's video. Stay tuned. Hey, I'm Dale, a best-selling author as well as a self-publishing advocate that wants to show you how to publish books that sell. And if you want that too, make sure you hit the subscribe, click that bell notification icon, and turn it to all so that way you don't miss a single one of these videos. Full disclosure, so the FTC isn't coming and beating me over the head with a gigantic fine. I want to let you know that I am an affiliate for Publisher Rocket, meaning that if you purchase a license for Publisher Rocket, I have a little bit of a kickback and a financial incentive. But I'm going to tell you this, that I don't get behind any kind of products or services unless I wholeheartedly believe in them. And Publisher Rocket, sorry, spoiler alert, is one of them that I do get behind. First, what is Publisher Rocket? Now, this is available for both PC and Mac. Publisher Rocket actually is a tool, and it's for research purposes, and I'm going to talk about each one of those features here in due time. It essentially is an Amazon research tool. Now, it's kind of just right now exclusively on Amazon, but I know talking to the minds behind Publisher Rocket, their intent is to actually expand out and offer more beyond the Amazon platform in places like Apple, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and so on. But that's in development right now. The mind behind Publisher Rocket is actually a good friend of mine, the Kindlepreneur himself, Dave Chesson. And Dave actually is just one of the go-to resources when it comes to self-publishing, and especially when it comes to understanding the Amazon algorithm. So it's no surprise that he actually put out a product that is Publisher Rocket. Now, I tripped up over KDP Rocket a few years ago. I bought a license for it because it seemed like it was going to be a good fit. I was already a big fan of Dave Chesson, so it just made sense to me. I'm like, let's go ahead and get this. It sat and it collected dust for quite a while until one day I was like, you know what? Let's give this a run. And oh my gosh, it made life so much more simple for me because I used to spend hours upon hours trolling about on the Amazon marketplace trying to find the right keywords and the right niches, studying competition, seeing the number of products for a given keyword, and and what were the books looking like, and it was too much stinking work. And that's great. If you believe in sweat equity and time invested into your business, then I don't want to stop you from that. But as soon as I had made that investment in KDP Rocket and started to use the product, that's when I really started to go, oh, okay, all right, I get this. So let's go ahead, let's talk about the 4 unique features of Publisher Rocket. Starting it out with keyword search. When you do research, you'll do it through ebook or print book. So it'll say ebook or book. You want to make sure that you're checking out your keywords and your categories and everything else based on the type of product, because the relevance for a keyword on an ebook may be completely different than the relevance of a keyword on a print book. So that's why it's so nice that they've kind of split it up. But as soon as you go and you type in a word into the search bar and you hit enter, it's going to go ahead and populate your search with everything that's going to be relevant to that specific keyword. The very first metric it's going to do is number of competitors. This shows the number of books that compete for this keyword on Amazon. So it's good to know who all you're going to be fighting against. Like, are you going to be having no competitors, meaning there's 0 people using these keywords, or is there going to be 3,000 of the competitors on this given keyword? The next one you're going to take a look at is average monthly earnings. Now, this tells you the estimated monthly earnings of the top books that rank for this keyword. Now, essentially, when it says rank, that means the first page placement. That's the holy grail. That's where everybody wants to have their book. Because if you get in first page placement, that really increases your odds of a sale. Because the further out you go from that first page, the less likely that most of the audience is going to go over there. Audiences want instant gratification. Buyers want to get what they want so they can get off and continue on with their life. Next one is Google searches per month. This one gets me so excited because if you can get it to where you are being brought up in Google search engine, oh my gosh, because Amazon is like this. We got Google, it's like this. So when Google can index your content that's on Amazon, that's a big win. So Google searches per month, it tells you the number of searches per month that this keyword gets on Google. So anytime you see that search volume, I want you to kind of pay close attention to that because that can really make a difference. The next one is going to be estimated Amazon searches per month. Now, don't take this one lightly. I see far too often a lot of people just kind of go, oh, that's good. There's search volume. Great. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, just because it says less than 100 doesn't mean it's going to be the best idea for a keyword placement. But I'm not going to go into that. Actually, there's a full video. I'll get a link in the description below where I talk a little bit about how to find the keywords and what to make of it. You're going to want to make sure that the search volume is significant before you consider utilizing it. Now, the next one is when you're going to determine, okay, is this going to be right for me? It's the competitive score. Now, the competitive score is kind of like it's a sliding scale. It starts with 0, meaning there's no competition, to 100, which means it's absolutely an all-out fist fight for the top. Like, only the big dogs can roll at 100 in the competition level. Generally speaking, I like to see that competitive score below 50, if not 40, before I just start like a new brand. If I'm an established author, I'll go for something a little bit higher, but for the most part, I try to go for the low-hanging fruit below 50, if not 40. And then last but not least is the analyze and check competition button. So when you pull up your search, it essentially is going to go ahead, it's going to scrape Amazon for all the relevant keywords it's going to find associated to your search. And from there, you're going to select whatever keywords that make the most sense to you for your given publication. So you're going to click the analyze, and it'll go ahead and it'll show you the competition score, average monthly earnings, the number of competitors, the Google searches if there is any, as well as the Amazon searches. And last feature, now this is kind of nice, and this works on most of the features I'm going to talk right about now, is export. And when you click that export button, it actually exports to CSV, which is a spreadsheet file, and it'll download those keywords. It's going to give you all of that relevant information. I like to do that, and I'll typically keep the date on it of some sort. That way I can go back and refer to it later on. Remember that keywords, the value of them are going to shift from one day to the next or 1 year to the next. So always go back on a regular basis. The nice thing is when you get a lifetime access to Publisher Rocket, you can go back and check that stuff as frequent as you want. Second feature is Competition Analyzer. So similar to the keyword search, you're going to essentially type in some type of a keyword that's relevant to your niche, and it's going to pull up 10, all right? It's going to get 10 books ranking for the term plus other data. Now, I'm going to talk about the other data here in just a moment. And what it's going to do is it's going to populate. So it just shows all the covers of the book in like a thumbnail style image. It's going to tell you the type of book, if it's an ebook or if it's a print book. It'll tell you the author's name. It'll also tell you the age of the book. Now, this is interesting because it does it in the number of days. Now, in the event you see a negative next to it, that means that book is currently on pre-order. So don't get thrown off going, how does it have negative 150 days? It's because that's probably on pre-order. So if you see something that's thousands of days old and it's holding a really good rank, that means that thing's a heavy hitter and it's here to stay. Speaking of rank, there's ABSR, which means Amazon bestseller rank. Now, obviously, the higher the number, the worse off it is. The lower the number, the closer it is to number 1, the more copies of the book is selling. And two other really good metrics here is the keyword in the title or the subtitle? Most times you can get a good keyword into a title and subtitle and get more likely placed on first page placement because obviously it's in your title. It's saying, hey, this person's really relevant. They have it inside their title or their subtitle. This doesn't always work, but it is believed that if you can place your keyword in a title and subtitle, you have definitely increased your odds of first page placement versus the other ones that have not. Then the other ones are going to be the estimated daily and the estimated monthly sales. Now, these aren't 100% accurate, and I will actually discuss that here towards the end of the video when we discuss the pros and cons of Publisher Rocket. But these are just kind of just a rough estimate of where it is as far as, based on its rank. And now there is the link that says check it out. If you want to go look at the actual book itself on its product page, you just click that button. It'll whisk you away over into the Amazon platform. You can take a look at its book description. You can see any also bots that go along with it, any type of relevant information that will help you make a more informed decision based on the information you got from Publisher Rocket. And of course, it has the export feature. So the third feature is category search. I have a lot of fun with this one because, believe it or not, Amazon has over 16 1,000 different book categories, and it's growing constantly. So it can be so confusing, like, where does my book go? I don't know. There's 16,000 freaking categories. Where do I put it? Publisher Rocket comes in here. You're able to just search it up. It's so easy. The very first thing you can do is you can narrow it down to ebook or print book, or you can do both if you're just trying to do just a generalized search. And all you need to do is just search via keyword. Now, that keyword typically needs to be in that browse path in some capacity. So if you start typing up and it's not pulling up anything, then chances are likely there's not a browse path based on that. And you may want to just go ahead and use the check it out feature when you first go in there, and it'll show you all the different categories. Figure out, okay, what's the most broad and generalized way to put your book into a category, and then you can start to search a little further. The very first thing you'll notice as soon as you do a search, it's actually going to show you two different metrics with an additional set of metrics with each one of those. And the very first one's ABSR #1. That means the Amazon bestseller rank and the #1 spot of that given browse path or that category. And right next to it, it's going to show you the estimated number of sales to get to that #1 spot's rank. And then next is going to be the ABSR of number 10 on the best sellers list, as well as the sales it will take to get to the number 10 spot. Now you might be kind of wondering, like, why #1 to number 10? What it's doing is it's showing you proof of concept. Is there enough people right now purchasing this book that it's going to be worthwhile to publish a book in this category or list your book in this category? And then here's a really cool part. You can just click that check it out button. It'll whisk you away over into Amazon store, right into the bestseller list for that browse path. And you can take a deeper look. Now, don't be surprised, every now and then the ranking's going to be slightly off from what Publisher Rocket's going to show. It's because Amazon's rank is always fluctuating on each one of these books from 1 hour to the next. It's going to be different from each one of them. So Publisher Rocket tries to keep up with that, but sometimes it's a little bit behind, but for the most part gives a fairly accurate representation of what that specific browse path is doing and performing on a given day. And the last feature is the AMS keyword search. I used to just, my Amazon ads were horrible at one point. I was losing money hand and fist because I was just trying to rely on a bunch of free programs, thinking that it was gonna get me by. But to be honest with you, you can only go so far with free products, and that's why Publisher Rocket comes in and fill this void to where you can get all 1,000 keywords you need to fill in on an Amazon ad. And you can start at a really low bid, a low cost per click and a low cost per day. So that way you can kind of figure out, okay, what's some of the low hanging fruit when it comes to some of the keywords. But what you need to do, and this is what Rocket actually says, is enter a general keyword, phrase, or book title, and Rocket curates a large list of keywords for your campaign. That's simple. Now, based on the specific type of keyword, if you go really long tail, it may not bring back as much as if you were to just go really broad, meaning that fitness versus home fitness workouts. Fitness by itself is going to get you a ton of keywords you can put on a campaign, whereas home fitness workouts may not get you as much. And it will give you 4 different categories when you download the spreadsheet to utilize with your campaigns. It's going to give you titles, author names, ASINs and ISBNs, as well as the category search type. And you can feel free to use any one of these inside your AMS campaigns. It's 100% above board and white hat, so you don't need to worry. Like, oh no, I heard that you're not allowed to use author names. First of all, yes, you can use author names on Amazon advertising campaigns. You just can't use it in your metadata of your keyword inside KDP. Let's talk about the pros and cons of Publisher Rocket. The pros include, it is a time saver. I can't tell you how much time, how many hours it has saved me. The second pro is also it removes the guesswork out. And the third pro includes lifetime access with upgrades and updates forever. The cons of Publisher Rocket. Will it make your life easier? Yes. Will it remove some guesswork? Yes. Does it come with lifetime access? Absolutely. Is it 100% accurate? Not really. In fact, I don't even think that they even say it's 100% accurate all the time. The second con is it takes a little bit of practice. Obviously, these 4 features, you're going to go into it and be like, hey, all right, and it seems like a lot of fun, but unless you've actually played around with it for a while, you're going to be kind of lost at first, okay? but it's not the steepest learning curve. In fact, you could probably learn it within like a good evening or something like that, or maybe at lunch or something like that. For just a few hours, just sit on down, play around with it so you can understand why these features work the way they do. The beautiful thing is, if you're finding yourself stuck, there's this really cool thing. I'm gonna show it right here on the screen. It says support. Click that, all right? And they are very attentive to your needs. And the third issue, there's intermittent issues. Now, this is nothing that has anything to do with Publisher Rocket. It has more to do with the fact that Amazon is always changing things. They're always changing their API. They're throwing curveballs, so they'll change some stuff. And it's not like they get up over on the phone. Hey, Dave. Okay, hey, we're changing our algorithm a little bit. So you may want to know about X, Y, and Z, so that way you can get your Publisher Rocket ready. No. They're just going to change things. So if for some reason you run into any kind of issues, hit support, all right? There's going to be some issues, right? It's not perfect. So you got to just be patient. And just so you know, if for some reason, after 30 days, after you've purchased your product, within that 30 days you say, this is not my thing, they got a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not happy, just go ahead and get a hold of them. They'll gladly refund you back the money. Overall, I always give 2 thumbs up as well as a big glowing banana sticker for Publisher Rocket. It is a very, very awesome tool. If there was any tool that I could not do without, it would definitely be Rocket. And speaking of Publisher Rocket, I have a full tutorial on the Publisher Rocket keywords feature. You want to go ahead and take a look at that one where we do a deep dive and I tell you exactly how to analyze each one of those metrics. What are you waiting for? I'll see you down there.